For our previous lesson, we are done in lesson 5. So we have discussed there the capital financing. So that includes the bond value. So we are done computing the selling price, or that is the value of bond before redemption. And bond is a debt. So now we move on to lesson 6, the basic economy studies methods. What is the importance of economy studies? So we have here, these are necessary to be conducted in order to determine the needed capital investment and the possibility of investment to recover over time with an additional return, which is called the profit. So if we are going to simply define what is a profit, that is the financial benefit. And since economics is concerned with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services, we have to have this financial benefit, or what we call the profit. And the recovery of the investment, so we have also there the payback or the payout period. So we have here 5 patterns or methods for making economy studies. So we have here the rate of return, okay, and then that is annual worth, present worth, and future worth. If you're going to simply define what is the rate of return, that is just the percentage increase or decrease in an investment over a set of period. So that is the return of investment. And then for annual worth, that is also called the annual cost. So we have discussed also that one in lesson 3 from money time relationship. Since we are, if we're going to get the value of the annual cost, that is the capitalized cost multiplied by the rate of interest. And annual worth, that is the expense added to the cost of a fixed asset or account or amount. And then for the present worth, that is equivalent worth of all cash flows at the end of year 0 or at the beginning of year 1. And then for future worth, the equivalent value there is at the end of n years. And then for payback or payout period, that is the time to recover the cost of an investment. So the shorter the payback periods, meaning more attractive investment. Okay, so for this one, we have the rate of return method. We have here 3 types: the internal rate of return, external rate of return, and the explicit rate of return. So if you're going to simply define what is the internal rate of return, okay, that is the present worth inflow that is equal to the present worth outflow. And for the external rate of return, that is the future worth inflow that is equal to the future worth of the outflow. And for the explicit rate of return, from the word explicit, that is the detailed, okay, already. That is the detailed rate of return. So it involves dividing a net profit amount by the initial investment, okay. So for the rate of return, we have already defined that one as the return of investment every year. So this is in terms of percentage, since that is the um, percentage increase or decrease of an investment over a set of periods. So we have here, and that is also, sorry, that is also the financial efficiency of the capital. And then for the formula, that is ROR, or the rate of return, that is equal to the profit or the financial benefit divided by the invested capital, where profit is equal to the annual net income minus the annual depreciation. For the annual net income, that is the amount of money or value of money earned in a year after certain deductions from the gross income. So annual net income is different from the gross income. Okay, so that is for the gross income, that is the amount of money earned before taxes or other deductions, whereas for the annual net income, that is after certain deductions already. So we have their deductions of if the operating and maintenance cost of a certain project is given, so you have to deduct those in the annual net income. Okay, so that is um, after certain deductions already, that is compared to the gross income, which is the that is earned before taxes or other deductions. Okay, so for annual depreciation, we have it the formula here, that is FC minus SV multiplied by I divided by 1 plus I raised to n minus 1. FC there is the first cost or the invested capital, and for the salvage value, that is the trade-in value also, or called the resale value, and then we multiply it by the interest rate, which is I, and then divided by 1 plus I raised to the useful life of the project, so that is raised to n minus 1. And then for the payout period, that is just equal to invested capital divided by the annual net income. Okay, so for example, we have two examples here for the computation of the percentage increase or the percentage decrease, and that is the ROR, or the rate of return. Okay, example number one. An investor pays 1.1 million for a mine which will yield a net income of 200,000 at the end of each year for 10 years and then will become useless. So the useful life of the project, or the capital, it will be 10 years already. So that is at the end of 10 years. Okay, so he accumulates a replacement fund to recover his capital by annual investment at 4.5%. So the rate of interest, that is already 4.5%. So that is the yielding interest rate. Okay, at what rate does he receive interest on his investment at the end of each year? So we are asked to get there the rate, or that is the ratio. Okay, ratio, and that is the um, rate of return already. Okay, so that is in percent. If that is decrease, that shows negative. Okay, and then for increase, that is in positive. Okay, so given we have there the invested capital to be 1.1 million, and then for the salvage values in it, since it is not mentioned, that is equal to 0, and for the useful life, that is 10 years, and the annual net is given to be equal to 200,000, and for the interest rate, that is the yield rate. Okay, that is 4.5%, or equal also to 0.045. Okay, so for the solution, if we're going to have the formula for the rate of return, that is equal to profit divided by the invested capital. Okay, and that is, if we're going to get the profit, that is also equal to the annual net income minus the annual depreciation. And for the solution for annual depreciation, to get that one, that is AD, annual depreciation, that is equal to first cost minus the salvage value multiplied by the interest rate divided by 1 plus the interest rate raised to the useful life n minus 1. Okay, so if we're going to substitute there the values, the first cost is simply as the invested capital, which is 1.1 million, that is times 10 raised to 6, since that is in million, minus 0, since salvage value is not included there or mentioned, so we have to multiply it by its interest rate, that is 0.045, and then we divide that one to 1 plus 0 point the interest rate, that is 0.45 raised to the useful life, which is 10, and then minus 1, so that is equal to 89,516.70 pesos. Okay, and then for getting the profit now, since the annual net income is equal to 200,000, that is minus the annual depreciation, which is 89,516.70, and the profit now is equal to 110,480 83.3. So that is the profit of the capital already, that is 1.1 million. Okay. So having this one, we now get the rate of return. So that is in percent. So we have to multiply this one by 100. So that is 110,483.3, since that is the value of the profit, and then we divide this one by its invested capital, which is 1.1 million, or that is times 10 raised to 6, and that is equal to 0.1004, or that is equal to 10.04%. Therefore, that is a an increase, since that is positive 10.04. Therefore, the investment is attractive. Okay, so it means that this is it has an increase in its investment. Okay, so for number two, given that one a fixed capital investment, okay, that is the investment of 10 million is required for a proposed manufacturing plant, and an estimated working capital of 2 million pesos. The annual depreciation is estimated to be 10% of the fixed capital investment. So annual depreciation there is, we have to multiply 10% of the fixed capital, which is 10 million, and then that is, we determine the rate of return on the total investment and the payout period in the annual net income of 2.5 million pesos. Okay, so for the capital investment, we have to have the total capital investment, which is the fixed capital investment, which is 10 million, and for the working capital, that is 2 million. So we have to add that one. But for the annual depreciation, it is mentioned that it is 10% of the fixed capital income, that is only fixed capital income. So we have to multiply it by the 10 million. So we don't have to include there the working capital 2 million. So having that one, the annual depreciation is 10% of the capital investment, that is fixed. So that is equal to 10% of the 10 million, that is equal to 1 million. And then for the annual net, it is given to be as 2.5 million. So we are required to get the rate of return and the payout period. Okay, having the solution, we get the value of the rate of return. So that is ROR equal to the profit divided by the capital investment, or the invested capital. And for the value of profit, that is equal to the annual net minus the annual depreciation. Okay, so getting that one, that is ROR, or rate of return, that is equal to the annual net, which is 2.5 million minus the annual depreciation. So we have computed that 10 million. Okay, 10% of the 10 million, that is 1 million. Okay, so that is 1 million divided by the capital investment, which is the total, that is 10 million plus the working capital, which is 2 million. So that is computed to be as 0.125, or that is equal to 12.5%. So therefore, that is an attractive investment again, since there is an increase in the investment. So that is the ROR. And then for the payout period, or that is the payback period, that is computed to be as equal to capital divided by the annual net income. Okay, so that is equal to, the total capital will be 10 million plus the um, working capital, which is 2 million, and then we divide it by the annual net, which is given as 2.5 million. So this is in years, so that is equal to 4.8 years. So this will be the time for payback or for the payout. So that is the time to recover the cost of investment. So that is after 4.8 years. So that ends our discussion on lesson 6, that is the rate of return.